You are about to watch part 2 of my camping in French Creek video. Definitely see part 1 if you haven't already. You know, my first night it had rained hard and I was over a mile from camp, so I had to book it up the mountain back to base camp. The next day I reviewed a really cool camping knife that was sent to me, as well as taught you a little bit on how to make char cloth, which is what you use to start fire using stones. But by far the coolest thing was all the stuff I found with the ultraviolet light. You know, all the ferns and fungi and a really cool moth cocoon that fluoresced when I used that lamp. So, you know, cool stuff. In this video, there's a lot more cool stuff coming up. A couple of survival hacks, as well as a really cool mushroom that has a ton of uses, including a way to sharpen your knife and a way to stop bleeding. Really neat, very easy to do. I've talked way too much. Let's get this show on the road. So this is what everything looks like in normal light. You know, it's interesting how many things here are responsive to ultraviolet light. And it also makes me wonder, I mean, I've always wondered, what the world looks like to wildlife. You know, it probably looks a lot like something out of the movie Avatar, you know, the blue people. And it's just filled with color. I know for a fact that birds see, you know, beauty products and hair products and fabric softeners and all those things. They see them glowing different colors just by looking at us. I'm pretty sure that much of the wildlife out there is the same. I mean, flying squirrels fluoresce a little pinkish or yellowish under UV, and there's obviously a reason for that. They probably see that. It probably helps them find each other in the moonlight. Who knows? But what a world we live in. Hey, so okay, so I'm breaking camp. I'm going to be leaving today. I took down my tarp and stuff last night, but I left the rope because I want to show you a simple way to take care of rope. I actually learned this from this G.I. Joe mountain climber action figure I had. I think his name was Alpine, and he had like some rope on his, you know, sculpted onto his body on his kit somewhere. And it looked really cool, and I was like, I want my rope to look like that, you know? So I just kept looking at it, and one day I just figured it out. I was like, oh wait, this is what he's doing. So simple, you go like this, right? Please forgive how I look. It's early in the morning. That's my excuse every day. I just tell people I just woke up, no matter what time it is. So then, okay, you do that simple thing. You make sure that you have some rope on the edges, a lot more than that. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, you see that? You've got these two trailers coming off the ends. You start at one end. I just pinch it in the middle like that. So I start at one end like this, and I wind it around, not too tight because you want to adjust it later. You want to work your way around towards the center. Pay attention to what direction you're going in, because you're going to go in the opposite direction for the other side. And you'll see why. Already looking cool. Whole reason why I learned to do this was because of the looks. I just wanted it to look cool, and also don't want my rope to tangle up. But to be all honest, it's aesthetic. I'm a sucker for aesthetics. It's a nice morning right now. Temperature's just right and everything. Oh yeah. So now, you've got these two pieces. You've got these two ends meeting in the middle, right? And you just do a simple square knot, or whatever you want to call it. Can you see that? Come on. It's just an over-under knot, you know? And then you slide the, you clean it up a little bit. Usually I have less of a trailer at the end, but I'm doing a video and not paying attention to what I'm doing. But look at that. Look how awesome that looks. Okay? Looks really cool, doesn't it? Because that's what it's all about. You see this right here? This is a Birch Polypore, and they don't necessarily grow on birch trees. I mean, they can grow on silver birch, aspen, black cherries, other similar trees. These things are really useful because, one, they have antibiotic or antimicrobial properties. They have other health benefits, within them. If you dry them the right way or get to the right part of them, they make a good tinder fungus or something for starting fires, right? However, well, there's another use. There's actually a couple utilitarian uses that are very useful. Let me show you one of them now. So I'm just going to pop it off this log. You don't have to use a knife. You can just, bend it off. But there's a ton of them all the way along this log, so I'm not really doing too much of a disservice to Mother Nature here. But now, this part's a little tricky. I'm not very used to this knife. I usually use a thinner knife for this, and I've done this before and it's actually had positive results. So what I'm going to do is score it. Oh, this one's a little bit on the older side, so this might not work so well. And I'll show you why. The surface membrane of these Birch Polypores makes an incredible plaster or bandage. And you kind of want it to be a newer one, a fresher one, to get it to peel the way you want it to, because if it's in the right condition, you could just get the upper surface, just curl it up a little bit. And what I want to do now is try to carefully peel this off. So you can either peel it or slice it off very carefully, and then say you have a wound or something, it just sticks. You can literally just stick it on the surface of your skin and it'll adhere to your skin like so. And if you've got a wound, I mean, why else would you be doing it? I've experimented with this in the past where I had several wounds on my skin, obviously, and I applied some of this to 2 of them and left the other 2 how they were. They were all from the same thing, I just don't remember what. And the 2 that I applied this stuff to actually healed quicker. They cleared up considerably faster than the ones that had no treatment whatsoever. Another cool thing about these Birch Polypores is, by the way, they often look like that when they're a little bit older. Sometimes they start off kind of round. But you can dry them and, slice them into layers. I'll try to show you that later on. And use them to sharpen your knife. One, it takes the burr off your blade. If you're doing a lot of knife work, in a very minute way, the edge will curl. That's called a burr. That's why people would use those leather strops or stroping at the barber shops and stuff to take that burr off, and it's almost like sharpening your knife all over again. This will remove that burr, but you can actually sharpen your knife with these also. But you can also dull your knife with it when you're cutting into it, like I had, you know, when I sliced it in half. Birch polypores also have cancer-fighting properties. These things are amazing, and there are a ton of other uses for them. I should do a video all about these. So it's been a really nice few days. The last couple of nights were a little bit chilly. The first night, a lot of rain and a bit warmer. Last night was on the chilly side, but it was still really nice and invigorating. The days have been wonderful. Today's got this breeze. It feels like it's in the low to mid 70s. Not much in the way of insects or mycology, mind you. And I expected to find a lot of mushrooms and fungi, especially after, you know, a few days of rain and these temperatures, but maybe I'm a week early or something, who knows. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm Chris Ignato. I'll see you in the next video. See you later.